Welcome to a very special episode of Viall Files.
The specialist.
Well, Rochelle is currently having an orgasm.
Truly, I've
right
never
now.
seen you like this.
I've never seen you this worked out.
There was that moment out there where Nick was like, just.
You were just literally bouncing off walls.
Nick's like, where do I go? What do I do?
Nick's
Tyler
like, you need to calm
is
down.
coming up in an elevator as we speak. I've had the pleasure of meeting the young man. Shug and Rochelle have not yet. They're very excited. He's coming straight from AFR, having just maybe he's in a relationship with Hannah. I don't know.
Oh my God.
We don't know yet, but I'm very excited. Tyler's our first male straight guest
Wow.
on the show. We've had Brad, my buddy Brad, but Brad is gay, which is great. But we've never had a straight male on this show before.
He's breaking that cherry.
And we're going to start having more straight males, but Tyler, we were saving it for a special moment.
Yeah, you don't want to just give it away.
Than Tyler, who's quite honestly, I've never seen a Bachelor contestant be so adored. By everyone.
It's been hard for Nick.
I really quite like Tyler, but yes, I'm a little. Needless to say, I did not have quite the same first season experience as Tyler.
Every time we say something good about Tyler, Nick's like,
he just
he's
walked
fine.
in.
We were watching.
He just walked in.
Oh, exciting!
Everyone's
we were
very
watching
excited.
the live feed.
So yeah, for those of you, I feel like I have to say this for some of our. I'm assuming we're getting some new guests listening to this show because of Tyler. Check us out. Thanks for popping in. I feel like again, like the priest on Easter and Christmas morning. He's like, hey guys, we're here 52 weeks out of the year. We're doing some good things, even not on the other holidays. Check us out, the other episodes. We talk a lot about relationships and dating. It's all very insightful and fun.
And Hannah was on.
Go back and check that out. But those same people probably checked it out. But for those of you who didn't, we're doing a lot of great things. We also do some questions after Tyler leaves, some relationship questions. Shug hasn't gotten laid in a while and was really projecting this episode. It was a lot of fun. So check us out. But thanks for tuning in. We're excited to get to Tyler. We'll get there.
Nick's raising money for cystic fibrosis.
We are raising money for cystic fibrosis.
If it's in your heart, there'll be a link on the show
There
notes.
is a link. Help save Rochelle's sister's life.
Oh, God, yes. Ugh.
And as always, we are still doing a sale on the bundle still for Natural Habits. It's 40% off. Use code Viall, VIALL. It's a summer sale.
Wow, 40% off.
It's the last one we're doing. NHOils.com. So if you're looking for any type of essential oil relief, you need to sleep better, you have a headache.
I'm stressed out because Tyler's coming on the podcast.
Anyways, nothing.
Speaking of which, I just have to say one thing to Rochelle because she's so caught
She's
up
losing
there.
her
Her
mind right
panties
now.
are going crazy. You can't see him through the window, but I can right now. And honey, he is still in that suit. He's wearing that suit.
I told him he could change. I don't if he brought something to change him. But
I hope not.
anyways, without further ado, should we get to Tyler? Or
Yeah,
should we
let's
just Rochelle's like, fuck, I just want to hold him.
Hold him.
But hold him. Well, yeah. So, anyways, Tyler, everybody.
Time for Nick to sell you things you really need, but you don't own yet.
Frank and Oak,
Frank and Oak.
our new
Frank and Oak.
sponsor.
Well, I'm wearing Frank and Oak for those of you watching.
Are you both wearing
I
Frank
am
and Oak?
too.
Oh, these earthy tones are really
Well, they have
delightful.
more than earthy tones. This is also Frank and Oak. This wonderful
Purple.
Oxford.
That's
Button up?
gorgeous. I have to say, this is a Canadian company, and I'm not surprised because they look great, and I'm Canadian.
It's quality clothing that's made with a conscience.
Yes.
Right?
Sustainable.
Sustainable.
A lot of it comes from recycled material. Denim's made with 95% less water than normal denim.
95% less water. That's awesome. And we have a
I'll
lot
be
of water
honest,
in
I don't
Canada,
know what
so
that
that's
means,
nice.
but it sounds great. I didn't know it was made with water.
Oh,
Denim?
jeans make a really big dent in the using of water.
Do they?
Problem.
95% less.
Yeah.
That's a huge number.
It's a huge number.
So, yeah. And what Nick and I did, we got a subscription box and it's flexible. Like you can pick out what you want.
That's great.
from
You
it.
go online and you select brands that you've already shopped for that you typically wear, right?
Yeah.
And then they customize a box for you based off the Frank and Own brand of stylish and affordable, sustainable clothing. And then they curate a box for you based off your likes and needs.
Yeah.
awesome.
It's amazing. Super affordable, quality clothing shipped right to your door. I ordered it. I selected it. 2 days later, bam, at my doorstep.
So you get like pants and shirts and sweaters in a box?
I think they have like kind of like everything.
Oh, this is exciting.
Yeah. Discover what your wardrobe has been missing. Go to frankandoak.com/Viall and get $25 off your first subscription box. And try Style Plan by Frank and Oak completely risk-free. That's frankandoak.com/Viall for $25 off your first subscription box. frankandoak.com/VIALL. Embark. Oh my God. Embark. This is really the coolest thing I've ever seen. Honestly, I don't even own a dog currently, but Shug has a dog. We've heard about Shug's dog. He's fine now. But also he's a beautiful dog that she found on Craigslist. No one knows really what he is.
Nobody knows really what he is. Everybody thought he was a husky Pomeranian. There's a very popular dog breed called a Pomsky, but he's just not.
Honestly, we don't know. And Embark, you can basically get your dog's DNA and find out exactly what breed, what mix they are. In addition to that, you get to find out if they're healthy or unfortunately not. And so that way you can be proactive about treating your dog.
Yeah.
The quickest way to fix any ailment or health or concern is to like be on top of it, to find out. And the sooner you treat it, the sooner you have a chance to fix it.
Yeah, so we have a kit coming in the mail for Shug's
excited.
This is great.
dog. So we'll let everyone know. I know Oliver from your Instagram because you have a shirtless pic with him.
He's
Not
been great
me.
for my
I
gram.
don't have a shirtless pic.
And anytime I'm out with Shug and Oliver, there at least 10 people in a 5 minute, like every time. Oh, what is he? And Shug's like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's true.
She sounds like an unloving mother. Like,
And you get to know their ancestry, so you know where the dogs have come from.
Oh, it's just so exciting. We're going to do a gender reveal party.
Gender's the wrong word.
Sorry, breed reveal party.
Yeah. Right now, for our listeners, Embark has an exclusive summer offer you can't get anywhere else. So go to embarkvet.com and use promo code Viall to save 15% off your dog DNA test kit. Discover your dog more than fur deep. Visit embarkvet.com and use promo code VIALL to save.
And keep following along because this reveal of Oliver is going to be huge.
Now go buy the stuff.
You're really pretty.
Oh, what a strong start.
You are too, my man.
Thanks. Well, thank you. That means a lot coming from you, Tyler.
Those dimples are cute.
Yeah. Do I?
I saw cuter ones earlier, but those are cute.
There you go. He's still on his game as we see. Well, thanks for coming. This is Tyler's first podcast, so we're gonna ease into it. We'll get into kind of tonight in AFR, but I think most people want to just get to know Tyler before the show. All this, I do have to ask, like, how has it been? You've had quite the run and a unique run relative to most people in your shoes. There's always fan favorites every year. There's, a couple, guys, specifically if it's the Bachelorette, that are just like, oh, yay, we love him. But you've had quite the run. And yet, when I met you, very level-headed, down to earth. Like, what has it been like for you?
It's been a crazy journey. It's I never would have expected it to be this, but I tested a lot of it to my parents. My mom and pops have always kind of kept me level-headed and humble, and my dad always, made sure that I always took my time out of my day to make sure I thank everybody for coming or being a part of it. So that's kind of how I've been able to handle this, and I think football has been a big help with this too as well. Okay.
What did you expect it to be?
Not like this. I had no idea. It's been I don't know. I had no expectations coming into this.
Okay.
So I would just kind of feel it out, see what happens, and take it day by day. And that's kind of how I took this whole journey.
The football aspect of it, because you competed collegiatally and then you had a little bit of a run in the NFL, which is
very small stint.
It's more than most.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've talked about this before you even came, but one thing you were this season, you were always incredibly poised. And I mean, for someone who obviously cared for Hannah and had a relationship with her, even when the stakes are high and having been through that world, you were always just poised and on. Do you think that came from, when you say football helped a lot, do you think that was it? And I'm talking specifically during filming.
Pull up a pic.
Yeah, Rochelle will do this from she brings up.
Yeah, I think my time, the lumps I took playing quarterback in college and in high school, never was much of a winning record in my collegiate quarterback career or high school career, to be honest. But it's taught me to take the highs and the lows and to stay level headed. You can never be too high, you can never be too low, and that's kind of how I take things. I think I'm a very laid back kind of person, and whatever comes at my way, I just kind of been thankful that I've had a calming effect when adversity hits me, and I can kind of just take things and roll with it.
So you played quarterback in college?
Yeah, for my first 3 years, I played quarterback at Wake Forest, and then I transferred to tight end, transferred to schools and played tight end.
Okay, that's quite the shift.
Yeah, it was a big change. It was fun.
What made you want to do that? I mean, as a football guy, I'm kind of interested.
Yeah, no, when I transferred schools, we had a senior quarterback, and he was like the captain of the team already. He was an awesome guy. And I just wanted to help out the team any way I could. And I felt like there was a need at tight end.
Of course.
Of
course you did.
Just so great.
And I just wanted to play football. I didn't play much my first 3 years at Wake Forest. I just wanted to play football. So they put me there and they tried me out, and the rest was kind of history.
You did obviously pretty damn well.
Yeah, I'm an effort guy. I always would give you my best effort, and they loved that about me, and that's what kept me in the mix.
That's awesome. So let's go back all the way to the beginning of when you were born. No, I'm just kidding. You're from Florida?
Yeah, I'm a Florida boy.
Okay, and you were there your whole life?
Yeah, besides my 3 years in North Carolina for school.
Okay,
but Florida boy through and through.
All right. And then you went to Wake Forest and you transferred. And then how did you end up on the show?
So I was cut from the Ravens, and after that I gave it another year and just of training and trying to play football. I went to this developmental league called the Spring League, and the first play of the last game I blew out my shoulder.
Oh.
And the next day I got dumped, and deservingly so. And
by a woman, not your coach?
No, yeah, by both probably. Okay. But I got hurt. It was like right before NFL camp started, so it was pretty much I was done for. I was like 8-week recovery, and then the next day my girlfriend broke up with me. And
oh my god,
how long was that relationship for?
That relationship for was about a year and a half.
Okay, why do you say deservedly so? Because you're a nice, humble guy, and
just because. Like when I got cut from the Ravens, that kind of put me in like my darkest hole I ever was, and because for I don't know, since I was 5 years old, I wanted to be a pro football player, and that was my whole dream. And then I got cut from the Ravens, and I kind of just went in a dark hole, in a dark spot, and
that's tough.
So I wasn't really like I saw a lot this season with Hannah was like so many people were taken from her and not giving back to her.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like, when I was taking so much from my ex, and because she was trying to give so much to pull me out of that hole, and then at the end of it, she broke up with me, and then I stood back, and like a month later, I really saw the toll I took on her because I was so in my head about football and just not being as good as to her as I could have been.
Was she kind of that kind of classic, always by your side through the whole kind of journey of going to the NFL and the struggle? And
she was always there for me.
Sure.
A super sweet girl, and just being not achieving my goal, just put myself in a really bad mental place. And she tried her best, and I just really just had a hard time coping with football and not working out, and really just wasn't the best boyfriend, wasn't that attentive, didn't really give her my all. And she ended things with her, and it was a big lesson for me. I would never, I believe she put so much value into me, and I didn't give none back. And then I had such a hard time with Hannah's season because I saw so many guys taking, so much value from her, like taking away these cocktail parties and taking away from her, from her moods, and just like putting her in bad places, and seeing that from afar, it would get me fired up because she doesn't deserve that, and neither did my ex deserve that as well. So, I always believe if someone gives you value, you got to give back even more. So
I mean, that's interesting for you to say, because I mean, obviously you've had this kind of run and people have seen that, but for you to kind of not necessarily own up, but you didn't have to say that and talk about that and show that awareness. I mean, but also,
I think every relationship,
learning experience. Yeah,
every relationship you learn, and that was a big learning lesson for me. And I'm thankful and grateful for my relationship with her, and even for this relationship with Hannah.
Was that your first serious relationship?
That was my first time ever dating somebody.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
So really, like, you had that relationship, and then you pretty much, how many months after you broke up?
This is important nowadays.
I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I mean, as long as you were broken up.
So that was in April. We broke up in April, and
It's like a year, basically.
yeah, so I was in the clear.
Oh, you didn't get cut that long ago from the Ravens.
It was 2 seasons. I think it was 2 seasons ago at this point. Yeah.
Huh. Wow.
So then, so now it gets back to our story. I applied to the show, no, I was just a broke jock at this point, and so I had like 2 more classes to finish up my MBA, and I was studying for accounting 2 and finance 2. And one day I was like taking
Accounting.
Yeah, I'm accounting fan.
I was an accounting major myself, Tyler.
I'm a big accounting fan.
You don't have your MBA though.
I don't. You have your MBA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that 5th year, I did not. I was,
So I saw I saw something come up one day and I applied for it. And then I saw what else I could apply for. I applied for the WWE, but they never got back to me. I was
That's
pissed.
amazing.
I was pissed. I was
oh, hey,
great.
WWE. I actually have some friends who are
Yes.
former.
I have some friends on the inside too.
yeah,
I feel like we can make this
probably
go.
make this happen, Tyler.
I was trying to run around in a red Speedo like Ric
What
Flair.
would be your character? Do you
love
have any?
that.
Ric Flair was my guy.
Okay, but you
So
can't be
good.
Ric Flair 2.0. Like what?
Yeah.
You got to have thought of a name. What would your
Nah.
name be? Like, would you be a good? You'd be a good guy. You can't be.
Of course
Yeah,
you're
Can't be a
big
bad guy.
No,
And
you
he
He
would-
would want to be a bad guy, and
I just-
what's his name would be like, no, you're.
Yeah.
You'd pirouette into the ring. Oh,
Yeah,
it'd be-
screw Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah.
So, wow.
It was like a funny joke. I always share my boys. I was like, oh, the Bachelorette got back to me, but WWE didn't. So, and now it's kind of snowballed, and
you-
here I am sitting
And
with you, Nick.
you applied. You applied.
I applied, yeah.
Okay. I don't like hyperbolic claims, but when someone says the most comfortable socks in the history of feet, I get curious, and so I tried them.
Yeah, and what'd you think?
Wow.
We're talking
Really?
about Bombas,
Exciting.
people.
Wow. I'm not kidding.
They really are the best. I heard about them before they even came on this.
Wait, guys, sell this to me. Why are they so exciting?
They're just like soft silk, and they're not silk. I mean, I don't want to, but
They're
like
made out of cotton.
they're made of cotton, but it feels just comfortable. They're breathable. They're not too hot,
They have arch support, a seamless toe, cushioned footbed that's comfy, but not too thick.
Oh,
and they
I gotta
have
tell
like
you,
options of styles and patterns.
Oh, great. And a not sweaty sock. Everybody needs that.
Like, I'm never buying a different kind of sock the rest of my life. I mean, that is a bold
Wow.
statement, but that's how I feel right now.
And I don't. Yeah, no, I don't. Usually, I like to call BS when someone says something crazy, but I'm yeah. Anyways, to get the best socks you've ever had, buy your Bombas at bombas.com/Viall today and get 20% off your first purchase. Pfft, God, it's like stealing. That's bombas.com/VIALL for 20% off. Bombas.com/Viall.
Cheers.
Cheers.
This is a product I'm most excited
The
about.
fact that you're so excited about this,
What?
I just like to see you excited. and when you told me about Cheers, I was like, oh my God, what? As if the world was saved.
They just make it, it helps you feel better after alcohol. So if you have a couple glasses of wine, you don't have as bad of effects the next day.
And let's be real, we're not talking about like getting crazy with alcohol, but if I have 2 glasses of alcohol at this point in my life, I don't feel my best the next day.
Yeah.
The bones, I'm a little slow. The bones hurt a little bit more. I'm a little crickety,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know? Not with Cheers. How is it developed? It's like there's some super science behind it. And it's
Yeah.
healthy for you. It's like good for your liver.
It's actually
and everything.
good for your liver. Yeah. So you just think of it as like an antacid for alcohol. Or
Interesting.
is it antacid? Did I say it wrong?
I know. We all know what you're talking about.
Antacid.
Oh, that was a good chime in from the booth.
Basically, if I have a couple drinks, I'll just take 2 before I go to sleep, and then I feel better the
Right
next day.
as rain
Yeah.
the next day. For a limited time, ladies, our friends at Cheers are giving Viall File listeners a chance to try out Cheers Restore for free.
For free?
For free.
So everybody's got to do it. Try it out.
For free.
I wonder if this is good even if you don't drink. I bet it is.
Probably.
For everyone.
To take advantage of this offer, simply go to takecheers.com/Viall. Just take the 30-second quiz, which honestly, at this point in my life, I like quizzes, especially when I don't get graded. They're fun. Pay $1 for shipping. $1. And your 4-dose sample bottle will be on its way along with a free gift. Oh, you get it and then a gift? Oh, my God. Again, that's takecheers.com/VIALL to get your first 4 doses of Cheers Restore for just $1.
Ooh.
Cheers. It's the best thing to happen to alcohol since alcohol. Catchy. You know, it's interesting. I do see more and more guys applying now. How was it on your season? Did guys talk about that? Did a lot of guys apply?
I think majority was guys that they seeked out. And
They got sought out. Okay.
Yeah.
That's how it usually is for the men. I think, I don't know. I think at least half the guys get like scouted to their friends. A lot of friends sign them up, and then
Did Luke P get scouted?
we're not worrying about
Okay,
Luke.
sorry.
We're not worrying
He
about
who
Luke.
shall not be named.
I mean, like we've talked about Luke enough. Come on. And here you are. Tell me about this dancing. Why didn't you finish your credit, man? It's like talk about life regrets.
There's still time. Don't
So
write
I
it
didn't finish my
off.
minor.
Yeah.
I kind of had like a football thing come up where I needed to graduate and get out. So I took as many dance classes as I could to get out. But I had to take like 25 credits in my last semester to graduate and get out and go transfer schools.
Was that one of those things that like you took because it was an elective to like?
No, so
Which is kind of cool, but it seems like you liked it.
my first semester in college, I got a 1.8. And I graduated high school early and then went to college early. In that first semester, I just had a hard time. I had shoulder surgery like this.
Graduated high school early.
Yeah.
For football.
For football. And then I had shoulder surgery like my like in February. So like within like 3 weeks into school, I had a shoulder surgery and couldn't do spring football, which was the whole reason why I graduated early. So I was bummed, and I got like a 44% in my econ class, but the guy was cool and gave me a D. So that helped my GPA a little bit. And then I got kicked out of my English class for plagiarism.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, we have
What
a
did
question
you
coming up for a game we're
plagiarize?
playing. I'm going to have to ask a new question. 'Cause
Yeah.
One of the questions says Tyler ever cheated on a test before.
Yes.
Wait,
I have to.
I just need to know, what did you plagiarize?
So it was some book that I was supposed to read and didn't read too much on, and so I had to take the take the L on that one and got the F in the class. So that next summer, everyone used to go home from Wake Forest for football. Like we're like one of the only schools that guys got like the first half of summer off, and so I had to stay though. Like me and like four of the football guys had to stay, and they put me in like 2 dance classes in the theater class. And I just really stuck to the dance classes and had a blast. So I took like ballet, hip hop, African dance.
Hip hop.
Yeah.
Do you know a few routines?
I can act a fool when it's on. So yeah. I don't know if it's a routine, but it's more just me acting crazy.
There's like these hip hop classes in LA that people take.
Yeah,
I'd go to it.
You
want to go with me one day,
I
Nick?
kind of want to
Oh
do.
my god, yes.
Let's go.
Yeah.
We'll go on a hip hop date.
Oh, that's great, man. But before we get into tonight, I know like I had the pleasure of meeting Tyler a couple times in New York, specifically because he's doing some great things already, which I think is pretty cool. I mean, again, too, I don't know if this is from a football standpoint, but just kind of having the awareness to use your platform so quickly is pretty cool. And he's got ABC Foods.
ABC Food Tours.
ABC Food Tours that it's pretty cool. The first time I met Tyler, so I wasn't sure what it was. So first, what he's doing this ABC. Well, why don't you tell people what ABC Food Tours is first?
So ABC Food Tours is something that me and my buddy Matt started. Matt was kind of the whole idea behind it, and once he told me about it, I hopped on it right away and been with him since day one. So we started 2 Februarys ago, and so it's been fun. You know, it started out as what we're going to do is we're going to give tourists tours, and that tour was going to be like a Tom's method where you buy a tour, then that tour gives back to another student. And it kind of, everyone saw what we were doing with the students. People just started sponsoring tours and didn't care about coming on the food tours.
Cool.
So we just started putting all of our focus on working with the kids and mentoring the kids. And so what we do is we take these kids on fitness and food excursions throughout the city and surround them with people from different career paths. Because a lot of the kids we work with, you know, suffer from homelessness or come from tough areas, and we ask them what they want to be. They all say, I want to be a football player, I want to be a basketball player, I want to be a rapper. Well, we want to show them that there's more than just that, and get them around people that do that stuff. So that's kind of what we focus on in the
Chicks
city.
over here just
Right. I'm so proud of you. That's so
I appreciate
wonderful.
it.
That's Truly. I'm crying. I just moved. I'm moved. I'm just so pleased.
On her period.
Well, it's not here yet, but it's coming. And I just have to say, like, you really are such a wonderful example. And you have been through this whole season, and getting to know you and hearing all of this now, like the roots and the experiences and your awareness of even your, emotional exchange with your ex-girlfriend that you lost.
Yeah,
It's just
all
you're
learning
really learning, but you're taking those lessons into account. I'll stop. I'm sorry.
No, it's great.
I'm moved.
No, it's
moved.
great. And so, so you have this platform, you're doing great things. And then I met Tyler. He was like, hey, do you want to help with, an aspect of the ABC food tours? I'm like, yeah, sure, man. I was in New York, and he's like, all right, sure. Like, show up to this address. And I'm like, yeah, great. And then I show up, and I didn't realize, and to hit Tyler's credit, is that Tyler, because these people donate for the cause, right?
Yeah.
And as a way to say thank you, you and Matt would go and make them dinner.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Right? And so Tyler gives me an address, and so again, I mean, a lot of them end up being Bachelor. Probably during the season, a lot of people donating are obviously going to be Bachelor fans, and so he's going to these random fans' houses, not knowing who they are, and so he's just like, go, and I got there early. Tyler was a little late.
I was late. I appreciate Nick so much because he sat there and he was patient.
I was like, I'm at this building, and I'm like, I didn't know what to, because again, I didn't know he was doing this aspect of it. So I wasn't sure if we were going to like meet some kids or what. I wasn't sure about this one aspect. And so these people come in, and this one girl stops and goes, wait, are you're Nick? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, are you here with Tyler? I'm like, yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. I'm thinking Tyler just must know this person. She's like, well, why don't you come up? And she was just kind of looking like she didn't know what was going on either. And I was kind of confused. And she's like, well, yeah, no, Tyler and I are like best friends. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I walk up to the building with her. And I'm like, oh, so how long have you known Tyler? She's like, no, I was just lying. I'm just kidding. But she was kind of nervous. She was a friend of the girl who donated. So anyways, she ended up, it was this kind of a funny thing, and I gave her a hard time, but we all went in there and they made spaghetti. I helped out a little bit. And I mean, I just gave Tyler a lot of credit because he was immersing himself in kind of, it's a lot to like get a lot of questions, and everyone's super chill, but it's I was like, wow, you do this all the time?
But
Good for you.
You really do seem like someone who is just taking it as it comes, and there's no sense of like, I don't know, fear of any of this. Like, I think are you just making the most of it? Are you nervous at all about all of this energy that's coming towards you?
It's been crazy, you know, but I look at everyone else no different than I am. I'm just a regular ass dude, and that's how I always going to see myself. And I try to, when I get around people, I want them to see that too. I'm no different than them. I put my pants on the same way you do, and that's how it's going to be. Just because I was on this show doesn't make me no different than you.
No, it's great. And I mean, and I say this because I've met a lot of people who have been in our position, and I've gotten to know you a little bit, and there's sincerity there, and I've gotten to know you, and like there are a lot of people in this world. There's a lot of great people, but there's a lot of people who don't have that self-awareness, and they get inundated in this world, and their head explodes, and they have kind of a inflated sense of self and expectation of what this world is, and Tyler seems to be very level-headed, and at the same time, you're already doing things with it, which
well, you throw 3 interceptions against Florida State, and you get level-headed pretty quickly.
There you go. I mean, I guess in a way that maybe, like, I mean, was that at Florida State?
That was at home.
Okay.
Yeah.
But still, like.
But all those things, has allowed me to kind of navigate through this, and keep my head down. I gotta say, I got great friends and great family that have been there through this whole process, that have helped me and get me through this and talk me through this, and I'm so grateful for them and have them by my side, because without them, it would be a lot different, I feel like.
Yeah.
You post a lot with your friend Katie. Is that
Katie?
her name?
Yeah. Everyone gives her hell.
Really?
Yeah.
Who's
By who, Katie?
So Katie is like one of my I've known her since I was in 7th grade.
Sure, she's she's
Like
best
a
friend.
family.
Yeah,
Female.
best friend. Like,
Oh, are your fans a little savage?
what? Yeah, everyone. She. I'll give you a good backstory on Katie. So Katie. I peck kissed Katie 9th grade on New Year's, and after that, never had a shot ever again. But
Why?
I don't
Wait,
know.
have you
Blew the
have you
pack?
had a crush on her throughout over?
No,
the years?
no. I mean,
Okay.
in high school maybe a little bit.
Okay,
but,
sure.
But she's
even then, has she turned you down in high school?
yeah, that was it. That was my last shot. But she's always been someone who's like been so dear to me and such a true friend and through, and I've like been there for, everything I've kind of gone through, and I'm so thankful and grateful for her. Like, she's amazing. She was just announced as teacher of the year for Palm Beach County.
Wow.
And it was like her and 5 other teachers, and what's so cool is like all the teachers, like everyone stands up like, oh, I've been teaching for 20 years, 23 years. She goes, this is my first year.
Oh my
She was
goodness.
teacher of the.
Yeah.
What made her so special? I mean, other than she's a.
I walked into her class. I went to her class at the end of the year, and she just does so many amazing things. She has like a whole class economy that she set up with her kids, and the kids can.
What grade?
Fourth grade, I believe.
Class economy. I like that. In the
Yeah,
fourth grade.
and so schools they give like basically a C through an A is what they give you, is like a PR,
Mm-hmm.
like proficient or whatever. And so what she does for A, she pays you money, and that money you can use to rent your desk, or you can work up and buy your desk one day and buy someone else's desk. And
Wow.
the more money you have, you can buy stuff from the treasure chest. So she just does all these things to get the kids
So
motivated and
smart.
working hard, and it's very deserving that she was teacher of the year. And that's just like one of my best friends I'm so proud of. And
Who is this crew? Like, who are you, angels?
Jupiter
I love
raises them
this.
well, I guess.
Yeah, Jupiter does well by
Yeah.
us.
But she
So
wasn't like when
good.
you got on The Bachelor, like, I missed my shot.
No. She was so supportive and so happy for me. Like she's amazing. Like
Well, it's probably, yeah, you talk about having good friends, and I'm assuming for me, it's always the greatest friends are the ones who keep you grounded and level headed.
Exactly.
You kind of spoke
Yeah.
to that. And I can only imagine with all, like, you are a great guy. You're very handsome, and all jokes aside, but you're just a guy, that, you realize that. I'm assuming Katie's the type of friend you probably value, because like she looks at you and
just
you're just no different. She
Yeah.
knows you're handsome. You haven't changed. She doesn't see you in a different lens.
she knows what to say to just shut me up.
Yeah.
and knock me right back in my place.
Those are the people you really appreciate
Exactly.
when you kind of get some of that.
And
kind
her
of
family's
crazy
the same
attention.
way too.
Yeah.
Though. They can put me in my place all the time, and we all have fun.
So has Instagram been they've been a little harsh on her?
Yeah. Early on, everyone was like, DMing her, like saying crazy stuff about us being in a relationship. But it's
Yeah.
it's just people are crazy. Like I think people have a hard time seeing a boy and girl have a platonic relationship where there's
Yeah.
just,
I mean, it is kind of a frustration. There hasn't been, Shug comes on, she's a friend, and then people ask about that. There hasn't been a female guest I have had on that's like single and dating that someone doesn't suggest that you should date. I think that's kind of people have those expectations, and you see a good looking girl, you see a good looking guy, it's like, oh, well, they must be doing things.
exactly.
But it's like, I have a lot of female friends that are just platonic friends, and
Exactly.
those are some of my closest and valuable relationships.
Yeah, and they give great advice.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
have more girlfriends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is some advice from a dating aspect? Like, what would Katie say about you and your love life, and like why, what she wants for you in the kind of girl you're looking for?
I think she just wants someone who, just wants the best for me, and likewise for her. I don't know. I don't know what Katie would say. She's always just been super supportive of whatever I've wanted to do and who I've dated. And I've only dated Hannah and Sarah, my ex. So
Wow.
that's it.
Speaking of Hannah, and I don't want to put you too much on the spot, but like, obviously,
Oh
like
my God.
tonight, it seemed like kind of, I wasn't sure where it was going. Hannah was kind of feeling it out, and like, you're super supportive of her. And so like, do you see that going somewhere? Do you think, are you, maybe you guys will catch up and we'll go from there?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think we went through a whole lot together.
Yeah.
That was a crazy journey to share an experience with somebody, and I value and cherish our relationship and our friendship, and it's something I don't want to just like cut off cold turkey just because it didn't work out.
Totally.
As someone who I would hope to have a drink with and see what happens, and take it one step at a time. And
I met Hannah. I was impressed. It was great. And it's interesting. You guys are kind of in that way, in a unique position, because now the season's done. You guys are kind of free to
Yeah, I think
kind of
I think
be
it's better. There's no pressure for anything.
Yeah.
So
it can be very regular. If you run into the same show, you can catch up and have a cup of coffee and just like, the first time I ran into Andy after our season, it was different under different terms, but still like the feeling of normalcy was just like a weird thing, but something I really appreciated just to like, and it wasn't necessarily to pursue a relationship per se. It was just to like, hey man, like, and just talk about whatever you wanted, about nothing, about chill things. It was kind of fun. So.
No, I'm excited to have a drink with her and just, talk, and because it's been months and just take it one day at a time.
Well, that's cool. I mean,
Surprised she said that to you.
Yeah, it was definitely, surprising, but I think it was inevitable. I think that
because you're so dreamy.
No, I think that we just both needed to have that time to talk and just see each other and be there for each other. And I think we have a great relationship, and friendship, and that's just something that just doesn't need to be cut off because it didn't work out. I think that's immature.
I think that's great. Shug's just like, no, I value my female friends, and again, like this is a unique relationship in terms of like, when Rachel was on here several episodes ago, and like we don't necessarily consider each other exes, right? Like, I don't know what's going to happen with you and Hannah, but if it didn't work out romantically, like it's just such a different relationship than say like dating someone for 2 years, and having all these like life experiences and it not working out. So it's you'll still always have that bond no matter what happens.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The reason that I'm freaking out is because I'm always on here and I'm like promoting love and being like, love can last and maybe it shifts and changes, but there's no reason to just throw it in the trash if there's experiences there and there's like something to hold on to. So I just think it's a good example.
Yeah, no, I agree.
You have a brother, I know that.
Yeah, I got two little brothers.
Is it the two of you?
No, I got two little brothers.
You have two little
three
brothers.
of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're pretty close with them. I
Very
see,
close.
Yeah, you talked about them a lot when I first met you and then your Instagram, and you're kind of fairly protective. You kind of play that kind of protective role in your family?
Yeah, my middle brother is currently training with the Guatemalan military right now in Guatemala.
What?
Doing what? What, huh?
He's ROTC.
Okay.
So he's a senior. He'll be a senior at Florida State, and then once he graduates from there, he'll enlist in the military, and I think he's like a second lieutenant when he comes out.
Wow.
So he's right now this summer he spent like 6 weeks in Fort Knox in Kentucky. I think it's in Kentucky. Hopefully I'm right. But
We don't want people.
but he trained there for 6 weeks and a lot of field training, like sleeping in the woods through the rain and all that. He basically kind of gave up his whole summer to focus on training for the military for his last year. And so he went to Guatemala for a month, and then I think he's going to Fort Worth, Texas to follow to shadow another lieutenant there, and then he'll come home for a little bit and go back to school.
What made him want to do that?
He's just always been very, I don't know, my grandpa was in the military, and I think that's kind of pushed him to be that, and it's always been something he's been very good at and passionate about. So I think he's just following his passion in his heart, and it's leading to where he wants to go.
That's cool. Are you still doing construction stuff?
So yeah, I just actually sold my first house.
Wow.
Yeah. So got a little cash in my pocket so I can afford a drink.
All right. I feel like people will be buying you a drink.
Yeah,
for a
you
while.
don't need to buy any drinks right now.
Well, if I have to buy Hannah a drink, I can afford it.
There you go.
You did. You promised that woman a drink.
So-
So
Get
you,
ready.
I mean, but you were a general contractor.
So yeah, I was so not technically a general contractor yet.
Oh.
There's a license for that.
So
We don't want to get you in trouble.
Pending.
Yeah.
So no, I just passed all my exams in December to get my general contractor's license, and then my dad got sick right before Christmas, so I kind of didn't care about filing for my license. None of that. I was kind of just stepping into the role of taking over his business and finishing what I had. I went from having 3 projects to having 15 projects like that.
Wow.
And taking care of him. And so then I got accepted on the show in February, and he got out like late January, so I was still just worried about him and focusing on him and his business. And so I haven't been able to file for my license or anything like that, but I was able to build my first house under his license, and I had 2 more that was going up, but I kind of just gave that to him when I went on the show and said, you can take care of this now. But yeah, I'm celebrating my little first victory of selling my first house. And
Exciting. That's really cool.
Is this
Is that
the house that you sold, the one that you're dancing in?
no, that's not the house I sold. That was one of the houses I was
Really
working
great.
on.
I feel like this is going to be worth a lot of money, this dancing house.
Yeah. The price went up on that one.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Did you think about not going on because of your dad?
Yeah, no, I had a tremendous amount of guilt, when I was going on the show, and I was literally about to step away from it because my agency was telling me to step away from it, and then my dad getting sick, and he just had his biggest job of his career. He just signed up for it, and I felt that it was important that he nailed this job because it could set him up for a long time down the road, and I wanted to be there for that. I wanted to be there to help him out because I could have created a nice salary out of just that job where I would have been doing really well, and so I really wanted to just stay home and do it, but he was the one that was pushing me to go do it. He's like, just go for it. There's a reason why this opportunity is here. Like, this is your opportunity. Like, you just need to take it. Like, I'll be fine. And I really had a hard time doing with it, like making that decision. But he just kept pushing me, and I made that jump. And then, I still felt that guilt, and then I got around Hannah more. And as more I got around her, that guilt went away. I was like, okay, I am supposed to be here. And so that guilt kind of went away, and and it was, you saw hometowns, like it was emotional seeing my pops again. And but yeah, and I mean, he's doing really well now, and everything is trending upwards. So
That's awesome.
Did he watch the show before you went on?
oh yeah, we so we when I got the call Valentine's Day that I was going on the show. Yeah, or I got accepted to be on the show. And
I feel like for them, they should just do that for the Bachelor.
They should do
All their decisions made right on Valentine's Day. Like, hey, don't sleep with anyone tonight.
yeah, it was funny. I was working a modeling job for Cartier, and I was not like that, but I was a doorman at the mall. But
With that rose
the
photo.
mall.
yeah, that was me at the mall.
Yes.
And they called me, and it was on Valentine's Day. It was like my last day on the job because
You're hot. Look at that.
And so I was like,
Mall.
after that, I literally wanted to just quit the job. Then it was like, I'm going on the show,
You were there when you got the call.
Yeah,
you were wearing that outfit when you got the call.
Yeah, I had to step.
That could not have been more appropriate.
I had to step into the back room of the jeweler to go take the call.
That is awesome. For those of you who are listening, do yourself a favor and go to YouTube and check this. Well, actually, that's all over. It's
If you and Hannah get engaged, you got to get your ring at Cartier.
All right, calm down.
Okay,
Michelle.
sorry.
All right. Let's not put our guy on the spot here.
Oh God.
That's great.
Yeah.
You were wearing that outfit.
I was wearing that outfit. Yeah.
What'd you do after that? Like, yeah, when you got the call, were you like, when you got the call, were you like, you were committed?
So I got that call, and I had a men's league basketball game to play after that. So I went and played that game. We won, and then after that, it was Valentine's Day, and me and my boy were both single. So we went and celebrated on the town together.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
That is a great story. So what's next for you? Like, what do you want to do with your young life?
What's next for me? So
I mean, obviously let's be honest, the Bachelor's a possibility.
yeah,
Is that something you would say yes to? I mean, I'm sure you get asked that a lot, but
I don't know. I'm all over the map about that one.
Okay.
I have a lot of things I got to sit down and think about when it comes to that. It's a lot of responsibility. It's a great opportunity, but it comes with a lot of responsibility.
very challenging.
So I don't know, but my main focus right now ABC Food Tours is kind of what I'm putting all my energy into. We're starting our own nonprofit with
You
it
need to
now.
get him on the Bachelorette.
Who? Matt? I'm telling you, everybody.
He's your next Bachelor.
Everyone needs to apply Matt James for the Bachelorette.
Matt,
Maybe just skip that and go to the Bachelor.
he's a shoe-in.
Yeah.
Yeah, just straight to the Bachelor.
I'll say this much: if Mike is not your next Bachelor, and if he's not the first person of color who's a Bachelor,
Matt James.
Wow.
He's an impressive man. He's good looking. He's tall, and every person they cast on the show is wildly tall. It's amazing how tall.
It's
except for
insane.
Luke. It's like everyone I meet. Like, I'm a tall guy. And it's just like everyone's so tall.
Yeah.
He's taller than Tyler. I mean, I've only met him a few times. He's a super nice guy. He's very charming.
He's amazing.
He's very cool. He's the brains as well as Tyler behind ABC Food Tour. He's a shoe-in to be on The Bachelorette, and certainly I would be shocked if he could be your first Black Bachelor if it's not Mike.
Yeah,
If it's not,
two great guys. Mike's amazing. Matt's amazing. You can't go wrong with either guy.
Who would you pick to be the next Bachelor if it wasn't you?
That's such a
Sorry, what? No?
sure. Let's hear a very PC answer from Tyler now.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with any. A lot of the guys from our cat. Matt James. I picked Matt James.
Oh,
I picked Matt James.
I literally was like, who is that looking at you, not realizing that was you? I'm sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, he's a great guy. I think
Both
you
of
got to
you.
get him to go on.
Yeah, no, my goal is to get him on. He needs some convincing, so everybody get after him, get him convinced to go, and he'll be a great guy for the show.
One more thing before we play this little game called Do You Know Me, so we get to know Tyler a bit more. The running aspect that you're also doing in conjunction with ABC Food Tours, also really awesome. I got to experience that, which was really cool. Like, you're doing this are you still doing it? You're doing it every week?
Every week.
So Tyler just kind of put it out there that he's running. He's like, hey, people of New York, I'm going to go run. Come and join me. And it kind of brings awareness to ABC Food Tours. And then also you're creating a community of people like working out. We went there. Tyler gives like this little speech to begin. Hundreds of young women showing up, working out. It was really cool. And I mean, talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, no, so I started these runs actually before the show. I was doing it with my friends and family, but it was only about 7 of us, not 100 of us at that time. So basically, when my dad got sick and he finally came home, I thought I need to make a point to my family and my friends that we need to get moving, and we got to stay moving to stay healthy. And so I wanted to get my mom, my brothers, my aunts, uncles, whoever I could, and drag them out there like every Thursday. Let's just move whatever pace you need to move at for 30 minutes or an hour or whatever it is. And so I went on the show. I came back, was in New York, was with Matt, and I needed to get back running again. And I was like, Matt, we should do one of these runs, just see what happens. And we had no expectations of what it was going to be. And the first time we came out, there was about 100 people sitting there in front of Tavern on the Green.
Wow, we showed up and there was just like it was like Peter the Piper, just a sea of people, and
The sexy Pied Piper.
it was wild, but yeah.
And kind of what it was I wanted to just promote like physical, health and mental wellness, and The Bachelor has brought all of them together and brought all of us together for these runs. If it wasn't for that, we wouldn't be having these runs. And they have something that they can all communicate with and talk about, and they can talk for hours about this stuff, And so there's so many cool stories have come from it. So many people, I tell a story about my dad and why I run and why I've gotten people to run. And they're like, oh, well, my dad got sick and I run too. And there's just so many amazing stories. And what's cool about in the summer in New York City is so many people are there for internships. And a lot of people come from all over the country to go intern in New York City. And so many new friendships have been built and formed through these runs. And we have people that come every week with their friend group and they go run after and everything like that. So it's really turned out to be more than we ever thought it was going to be. We're gonna try and hold like a 5K here in August in New York City.
So if you're in New York, go run with Tyler. It's pretty cool. And like, to your point, it is really cool that their common denominator for most of them, at least, is The Bachelor.
Exactly.
So you get these 2 interns. They don't know anyone. And everyone's like, oh, you're here because of Tyler? Great, you watch The Bachelor. And you can easily be like, oh, what'd you think of like Luke or Hannah or whatever? And you're talking for 20 minutes. Next thing you know, you have a friend. It's kind of like this really cool thing. So, I went and I was lucky enough to join you. It was a lot of fun.
We got caught in a little rainstorm together.
Then we got caught in a...
Oh, sexy.
Yeah.
It wasn't that sexy.
Nick, all wet in a white t-shirt. Ladies.
Thank you, Cal. No, it was. I mean, it was
38 years old and he looks like that.
I know.
What a guy. What a guy.
The more you hit on him through this show, I mean, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
We're I'm hitting on him a lot. He's just trying to return the favor. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, it's just pretending playing.
Who are some of the I know people? Who are some of the guys that you still keep in touch with from the show?
Talk to Dylan all the time.
I hear I've never met him, but from some of the people on Paradise that I know, they seem to really like him.
Dylan's amazing. Dylan, I'm sure we'll see his full personality on Paradise.
Sounds like he's a pretty funny guy.
Oh, he's hilarious. He'll be a riot. Talk to Mike all the time. Talked to Dustin. Love Dustin.
Dustin.
Dustin's another, like Mike got a lot of time. Dustin didn't get much time, but Dustin's an incredible kid.
Did Dustin go to Paradise? Will we see?
No, but he's from Chicago. He's actually running the marathon with me in Chicago.
Yeah, that's right. You're doing a marathon.
Yeah, Chicago and New York. I'm gonna try to at least. No, not ready for it yet.
How many miles have you gone up to? In
9.
Your turn? 9?
9.
That's pretty.
Yeah, I got ways to go. But there he is, handsome guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I talked to Garrett a little bit. You know, I talked to all the guys here. We were in like a big group chat, so we all go here and back and forth. But you know, amazing group of guys. A lot of guys that that I'll be friends with for a while and cherish. And
That's awesome.
What about Jed?
yeah, no. So Jed, Jed's someone that I really got close to in the house, and it's hard to see all this go down because I'm just disappointed. I wanted the world for Hannah, and it's upsetting that it didn't work out. And I think he could have handled things a lot better than he did.
Sure. I mean, that's a good question, Rochelle, in terms of like being the runner-up. I was the runner-up before, in terms of like, you're in it, you're committed, you're ready to make this commitment to Hannah in your case, and then you graciously try to be like, all right, fine, she picks someone else. And then, you're doing your thing to move on and kind of get past that experience because like that sucked for you.
Yeah.
And then only to find out, like, did it feel like a wasted opportunity, or, was there any anger towards Jed, who like you were pretty cool with while it was filming? Like, what were your initial thoughts when you first heard about it?
I didn't really read into anything that was going on with Jed and his ex or whatever, all the news that came out. But I'm just very disappointed, because I wanted Hannah to walk away from this happy, whether it was with me or whether it was with Jed. When it got down to me, Peter, and Jed, I was like, she's in good hands either way, any way this goes. And I could go home knowing that she'll be good. And just to see how this all unfolded, it's disappointing, and I'm upset. I'm like, my heart aches for Hannah, But she's incredible. She's so strong and powerful. The world is hers.
I think Hannah's gonna be.
She'll be just fine. Yeah,
she's gonna be fine.
She
was my favorite Bachelorette of all time.
Wow.
She's my favorite Bachelorette of all time too.
I mean, just like for pure, good thing to say. But like pure entertainment, she was so great. And for all the people who gave her criticism at Colton's AFR, and when she was so nervous, and again, even tonight, live TV, so articulate, so poised with Jed.
She's
gracious.
Yeah.
Great, wonderfully gracious, but insincerely. Sometimes people are kind of like this, the gracious, but it comes across as so kind of, I don't know, not sincere. She so thoughtful in it and so articulate, and you've kind of seen Hannah grow throughout the season, and props to her. She did a great job, and she was a fantastic lead, and you obviously were a big reason for that, but Hannah certainly the queen of the season, and she killed it. I would watch another season of
Hannah round 2.
I mean, you got a built-in story. I mean, she was fun and wild. If it doesn't, I'm sorry.
Not like that.
Gotta watch it. Yeah, listen, that's up to you, bro. But like, you want to play a little game with us?
Let's play some games.
This game's called Do You Know Me?
All right.
It's a fun game. My friend developed it. You can find it on Amazon if you want. But it's like a fun game. It's really simple questions. We're gonna guess if we know you.
All right.
So we're gonna ask you real basic questions. Don't answer immediately. Let us guess. And then we'll figure out who knows Tyler more.
Let it rip.
Has Tyler ever faked sick to stay home from work? You ever lied about being healthy, Tyler?
I'm guessing yes.
I'm going to say yeah.
I'm guessing no, because he worked for his dad. He's not going to do that to his dad's company.
I'm going to guess he had a job. That's good. That's thoughtful.
That's very thoughtful.
That's a very... I'm going to go with my gut and say he has.
I don't know. We saw the Cartier job. That looked tough. I might have called in sick on that
Can I
one.
answer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yes!
Oh, gosh.
Shoot.
Never fake sick, but I tell you what, I'm one of the best at faking sick from school.
Oh, not from work.
I
but
feel
for
like
school.
we get half a point.
No,
if you did it for
this
school.
this
No?
specifically says work.
I'm winning.
Bird speeds under the eyes in middle school is my go-to move.
What, to make you cry?
You get your eyes all watery, you go to the nurse, I don't feel good. Next thing you know, you're on your way home.
Question number 2. Has Tyler washed his sheets in the past month? I could have said 2 weeks, but I'm going to give you a month.
I don't think he has sheets.
I'm going to say no.
I don't think
And
he's even
just so you
been
know, Tyler,
home.
I haven't either. It's gross.
I'm gonna say
No.
yes.
I'm gonna say, aren't you living on a couch?
Living on a futon.
Okay.
Why do you gotta call him out like that?
Sorry.
We put a sheet on.
Living on a
futon.
futon. So no, I have not.
You're in New York right now doing that.
Yeah, slumming it in New York until I figure out what the heck I'm doing.
All right, that's fine. Would you? Okay. Before you were like living in, and I give you a lot of props for that because New York's a great city and,
Yeah.
and good for you for like having that adventure.
Love
Were you
New
a
York.
sheet washer?
Yeah, like every couple weeks. Yeah, every couple weeks, month. You know,
Okay.
college sometimes.
I feel like
semester.
I feel like I get the point.
you said what? He washed?
Said he was.
No, you definitely don't get the point.
Shug. I'm trying to cheat.
I'm not.
Has Tyler ever had sex in a car?
Yes.
Yeah.
No. Yes.
Yeah.
Good for you, Tyler. Yeah.
Tyler.
You
As
know.
you should.
Not in a windmill. Oh.
Oh.
Why do you gotta,
Sorry.
God,
I don't know what's
God.
wrong with me.
God, why do you gotta
I'm sorry.
Wow.
poke a hole?
I'm nervous.
Wait, that was Peter.
4 times.
Oh, God.
4 times in a car.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. We're talking about the windmill. Right. Like
Well,
that.
how times have changed, huh? Man. Anyways, can Tyler name all 4 houses in the Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry? Are you a Harry
No.
Potter fan? I'm gonna say yes.
Yes.
I feel like it's one of those like sneaky charming
He's
things
young.
he knows.
No.
There's Hogwarts. There's Slytherin. Dumbledore.
Oh, wow. No.
Way off. Nope.
Thank
Way
you.
to say that with confidence. though.
One for Shug.
Has Tyler ever cheated on a test? But we know the answer to that question. I like this question. For all you ladies out there, has Tyler ever changed a diaper?
Yes.
I'm gonna say no.
I'm
Not
gonna.
a big family.
Yeah, you have little brothers. I'm gonna say yes.
So yes, no.
I said no.
You said no. All right. Does a fake baby count?
No.
No. Oh, that's
Why?
disappointing.
Yeah, no, it
We
doesn't.
did it.
It doesn't.
We-
It doesn't.
We did it on our baby date.
Okay. No, that doesn't
No.
count.
That
You've never changed a
definitely
poopy
doesn't
diaper.
Never changed a poopy diaper.
Listen, you know what, ladies? He can. Would you?
So
he
he's
will.
not perfect.
Oh,
Not perfect. He hasn't changed a diaper yet.
when it's time to step up to the plate, I will plug my nose and go for it.
Yeah. There you go. All right, we got one, fun one and one pretty soft. We have a softball. Does Tyler use a loofah in a shower? Is that like one of those back scrubbing
It
things?
doesn't have to be back. It's like it's just a.
Round thing.
It's the spongy thing.
No.
Or do you put soap running your hand and just wash? I'm gonna say he doesn't have it.
Doesn't have it.
He may have had one in his life, but it's not a normal.
I don't think.
Are you guys watching on YouTube? His face, you can't read it at all. you can't. He is into
stoic.
the game now.
Very
so
stoic.
poker face. I am. I might have to excuse myself from the game.
I know.
I think that he washes with his hands.
Yeah, I think he washes with his hands too.
Yes, yes.
You guys are all wrong.
What?
You have a
You guys
loofah?
are all
Loofah?
wrong. I actually requested midway through the show for them to get me like a scrub brush.
Oh.
No, because you can't
You gotta
reach
break
your
it- you-
back
you
with
gotta
that
break it.
one.
Producer's in the background just nodding his head, like, yeah, we had to go buy that shit.
Yeah, and I would pack it in my suitcase and wrap it in a towel so it stays dry everywhere I go.
We were all way off.
You gotta
Hey.
break. You gotta
I think
break
we were
up
all
those dead skin cells.
hopeful.
You know.
Dead skin cells. Yeah.
No, Sugar. Only you were hopeful. We were Rochelle and I were objectively answering this
gonna
question.
take
You
your
guys
shirt
aren't
off a
sitting
lot.
close to his hands, okay?
You gotta exfoliate. With
Final question, and Shug, calm down.
Sorry.
She's
Uh,
Twitter page.
has Tyler
Leave me
ever
alone.
watched porn with someone else?
Yes.
What are these questions you pulled?
Look into his eyes now, Shug.
No. Okay.
Look into his eyes. He's looking at you.
I'm not looking. I won't. I won't.
She's sweating. Oh no! Look at this look.
I'm
Please
gonna say yes.
leave me alone.
I-
Wait,
what did
can
I
you
say?
repeat the question?
has Tyler
Yeah.
ever watched porn with someone else?
Will he be?
Yes, absolutely.
And let's just specify,
I'll say
not
no.
with a buddy when he was 13.
A buddy? Who watches with a buddy?
No, I'm like, you're a young man and you find your parents' tape back in the day. Like I'm saying with a lady friend in
Those
an
days were
intimate
awesome.
experience. Right? I mean, yeah, you know.
Oh.
Wait, can you define what kind of porn or no?
No,
I'm just,
let's not get too weird here. But
it was a joke.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
We
say
all
yes.
I'm gonna say no just for fun.
It's a no.
Oh,
It's a
yes.
no. It's a
I
no.
actually think I would change my answer.
Change after
No,
not
but
how it
I
works.
would because that's a pretty bold thing to do. And where are you gonna
You don't
watch it?
find
And
me
like,
bold? I think Hannah called me bold.
I do
tonight.
find you
Wow.
bold. I do find you bold.
Nice.
No.
Well,
He's got a lot of years ahead to do that kind of
That's
stuff.
what I'm saying. You're bold, but
what do we
that's much to do in a
learned
car.
about Tyler? You are very
a loofah.
He loves a loofah,
I love a loofah.
Loves a loofah.
and
No other podcasts are going to get that out of him.
he's a tomcat, but he still has some more fun to have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, that's
Bucket
that's
list.
what we've learned.
That's why I got to learn from the old heads. You know.
Yeah. Any
Old
final?
heads. How
Any,
do you feel about that, Nick? Old head.
It's fine. Any final thoughts, Tyler, before we let you
No,
on
I
your way?
appreciate you guys having me. It was fun. This
Wait,
was
can you explain the pink jacket?
the salmon jacket.
Thank you,
That
Rochelle.
was my
Oh,
you.
yes.
What is up with that? Was that a gift?
That was not a gift. That was a purchase by myself.
But then everyone borrowed it?
Yeah, no. So there was 2 salmon jackets. There was Dylan had one, extra small, and then I had one
That's a flex right there.
that they could fit Connor and Big Mike in it. And so basically, Connor and Mike wore mine, and Dylan, and I don't know who else wore his, but it was so it got spread around everywhere.
Did you think we wouldn't notice?
The salmon jacket?
Yeah.
How we got all passed around?
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah, like it's everywhere. But there's a like my light gray jacket got passed around. My mouth is always open every episode.
Your
Somebody,
mouth
somebody,
breather.
I
No one cares, Tyler.
Somebody needs to be like
Everyone
this.
loves it. It's fine. Everyone, that's Dylan in the bottom right?
yeah, it's Dylan in the bottom right. Like everyone's mouth shut.
That
mouth
kind of
shut,
happens
mouth
every
shut.
season. On Andy's season, it was the scarves. Like I wore a scarf once.
You
And
wore a scarf?
Did you see Dylan wearing the Burberry scarf? He's so bougie. I
Yeah,
love
no,
it.
it was that I wore a scarf on a couple dates, and then we went to Italy, and all the guys.
But you're
true story.
You're cute enough to wear it.
Thanks, buddy.
I don't know.
And all the guys bought scarves. And what people don't realize when you're filming, and you probably realize that, is that you obviously you lose sense of time. But then in terms of like, every day that's filming, if you wear things over and over, it can come across when you're airing that it's constantly being worn. So it probably didn't even necessarily feel like that when you were doing it, but it became such aggressive. But yeah, it was a scarf wearing season. So much that at Tell All, they all wore scarves.
Is that a silk scarf?
No, it's a cotton scarf.
I didn't realize how much I wore the salmon jacket until I watched it back.
That's what I'm saying. You probably didn't even as much as you probably maybe wore it every 3 or 4 days, but when they cut it together,
Yeah.
it just ended up being so much salmon jacket, and then other guys are borrowing it.
I feel like maybe 5 episodes in, Nick, you were like, I am positive that they were provided these jackets. And it was like they were given a gift of jackets.
I was certain that because like every season you start and they give you like some gifts or whatever. I thought maybe you guys just got a bunch of like colored jackets, and that was like the thing of the season.
No.
That was all you.
That was shout out to Zara for that one.
Good. Oh, yeah, a little plug for Zara out there. Well, Tyler, I really appreciate you taking the time. Working, ABC Food Tours. Why don't you guys give that a follow? Tyler's doing a lot of great things with that, and obviously everyone's following Tyler already. But really pay attention to ABC Food Tours. He's doing great things. It's been a lot of fun, buddy. I wish you the best of luck. I'm sure we will be seeing a lot more of you, and we can't wait to do that. So.
Awesome. No, I appreciate you guys having me. It was fun.
So fun.
Yeah. And for those of you still listening, stick around. We have some Q&A with some fans and a lot of interesting questions this time around, and I hope you enjoy it.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Question time with Nick. Let's ask Nick your sexy questions.
Hi, Jenny. How are you?
Okay, hi guys, how's it going?
Good.
Good. Welcome.
How can we help you, Jenny?
Okay, so I'll try and keep it brief. for 7 months, I've had this friends with benefits situation going on.
Great.
Love them.
And it's fun and it's good, but we don't want anything more than that. It's not going to get serious. We don't have anything in common.
Just
So in the meantime,
getting that
One thing
good
in
deed.
common, yeah.
I'm still on the app.
Mhm.
And I matched with this guy on Tinder, and immediately right off the bat, everything was good. We have so much in common, our goals in life, our values. It seems like this could be something serious, and we've even talked about it where we could definitely build off of this.
Have you met this person yet?
Yes, we've
Okay.
had a few dates already.
Okay.
Cute. Okay.
And it was really smooth, and it was very comfortable. It wasn't awkward at all. So I'm
And
really
then-
excited about this.
I'm waiting for the.
But the
Yeah.
the problem I'm having is we tried having sex,
Uh-huh.
and it just wasn't good. It didn't work very well, mostly because I kept comparing him to the other guy,
Oh,
to the
man.
friends with benefits.
And tell them what you were comparing.
What's the problem?
What were you comparing?
The problem
Is it the D?
he's not as well endowed.
Mm. I know, and your
So
body
much-
is used to that endowment. So-
Yeah, and so much so that it's going to be complicated. I really don't think penetration is going to be an option.
Wow.
TMI, sorry.
Not TMI.
We're talking. So we're talking significant. We're not
Micro.
talking.
Are we talking like micro kind of situation?
Pretty much.
Or so.
How is he? Very important question off the top. How is he with his hands? Does he use them a lot?
Everything else was fantastic.
Okay.
Okay.
That's we would have to figure things out, basically.
Ugh.
I mean, listen, there are
But-
strap-ons.
really,
There are fists.
The other.
Biggest
The
one
other.
happening is I'm comparing the two, and it's not fair to him to think about another guy.
How big is the other guy? Is he like average, and this guy's just super small? Or are we dealing with like horse cock versus?
Stop.
Wow.
I would say the friends with benefits guy is pretty much average, and this guy is just
Oh,
super
man.
Listen, I think in general, when you have a friends with benefits situation, which I always have loved and know well, you take a lover. It's great for a woman's world. But it's tough because when there isn't the emotional attachment, the sex is usually so good and it's passionate and you're like you're just having such a great time and there's no commitment. And so that alone is really hard to compare to sex that
Wait,
has
because you think just
commitment.
because, like, let's assume the dicks are the same. You think friends with benefits has better sex than relationship sex?
I disagree.
Yes.
I disagree.
I think it's a different kind of
Really?
sex.
I'm fine with. I guess the different kind.
I don't know that it's better, but it sounds like in this scenario, it's definitely better. But
Because
what I
one
was
has a
going to say
dick and
is
one-
that when one starts to come with love, it doesn't matter if they have a dick or no dick. Like if it comes with love, you get to those intimacy places where he could blow on your clit and you have a huge orgasm. Who knows where you can go with it when there is connection. But if you're in like a lover situation for 7 months, that person knows your body and is just focused on one thing, getting you off, and it's a commitment to kind of just that. It's very fantastic, and it's great.
Wow.
Are you talking about the?
Shug.
Are
I
you
just
talking?
really went
Wow,
off into
Are
it.
you, Shug hasn't gotten laid in a while,
I
so
haven't gotten
she's
laid in a while.
projecting a little
I
bit.
really am, but I also know my stuff very well, and I have
What
taken
stuff?
a lot of lovers.
Listen, I guess I could totally. I mean, I guess agree with what Shug's saying in that. I mean, I guess what you're saying is if you really like this guy and he has everything else. I mean, it just depends on how much you like the actual act of penetration when it comes to sex.
But penetration can come in so many different forms. You could put a wine bottle in there and have a great time. Nobody should do that. Don't
but-
do that.
Yeah.
I'm not a
I can't
woman,
believe
so
I
like
just said that.
I'm not a woman, so like does the act of penetration matter if it's a dick or a dildo?
Huh.
I guess not,
sure.
but-
Ideally, it's a dick. I guess.
Ideally,
But
fine. In a
does
perfect
it?
world.
But I would say like hands, you can get a world of a time better than a dick.
I feel more bad for thinking about this other guy when I'm
Right.
so into the new one and we have such a better connection. But I still can't help but wonder what I'm kind of like that fear of missing out. Like, what am I missing?
Well, to that
with the friends benefits?
I think it just comes down to an exercise of what do you value more, right? You've admitted that, fine, the sex is great with the fuck buddy, fine, but you don't want anything else. You don't want a relationship.
Yeah, that's not
so
going
you just
anywhere.
need to decide, do you want a relationship or do you just want a fuck buddy? And if you want a relationship, then sometimes sacrifices are made. Listen, if we got to marry the person we had the best sex of our lives with, that would be great, but often that's not the case. You are having a unique situation because in most cases, ideally, if you're connecting with someone, you'll have great sex with that person. This is unique because sex in its traditional form of thinking like penetration may never happen in the way that you would with anyone else, you know? That's unique.
Oh my gosh, it just opens up the world for you, though. I would call it a blessing that has to be taken out of the equation because you guys will learn how to have so much fun with other things. And I think that's a huge intimacy connection. If you're like, okay, listen, we got to really figure out other ways to get each other off. I think it's lovely and that'll get you closer. And I also do believe that relationship sex grows and gets better over time.
Fine, but you could say that about anyone. I'm just saying, like in this, you're talking about relationship sex, which I totally agree with, right? It takes time. I mean, regardless of the size of someone's dick or a relationship, in a relationship, you should take the time to do other things like going down on someone, touching each other, all these different ways to get each other off to make it interesting. If you're gonna have sex with the same person for the rest of your life, you need to mix it up. Everyone should be doing this.
You're feeling bad about thinking about the other person, correct? And you're comparing.
Yes. And so, And so she needs to like focus on not focus on that, accept that, right? And you are in a unique situation. It's kind of to my point is you can't pretend that. I think what you're saying is great, but eventually she just has to come to grip. That doesn't solve her problem of I think about this person.
No, correct. I know. I was just excited about the topic.
Yeah, we get it. Yeah. Sugar hasn't been late in a while.
Leave me alone.
But yes, so you I think if you really like this person and you do, to Shug's point, there's other ways of getting off, right? And I think the most important thing is accept the reality and don't feel bad about having these thoughts. It seems like a crazy thing to say, but don't guilt yourself in the fact that you think about this. It doesn't take away how you feel about this new guy.
No, it doesn't.
I think that's the important thing. Eventually, hopefully, if this person is your person and you get past that and you find ways to get each other off, I think you will stop thinking about this other guy less. 5 years down the road, are you going to go to bed and be like, oh, just wish I had a big dick in me? Sure, fine. But, that's okay. I don't think that makes you a bad person. No. I don't think that means you don't love this guy. That just might be a thought you have. There's a difference between having thoughts and indulging in those thoughts, right? Yes. You can be in a relationship and you're married for 5 or 6 years, regardless of the situation, and you can see someone and go and think to yourself, oh, hot person, wow. Fine. That doesn't make you, but then obsessing over that thought, indulging over that thought, introducing yourself to that person and giving into that temptation is a totally different thing. And there's a huge difference, I think, in any relationship between having a thought and obsessing over it, not letting it go. So I think you just have to control those thoughts, but most importantly, early on, don't judge yourself for having them.
And I would say part of the idea of obsessing over thoughts is to add, negative emotions to them. You don't need to feel bad about thinking about the good sex you've been having if that helps you, connect in the moment. I don't think. And I think the more that you're guilty about anything, you just don't need to be. You're human and it's totally fine. And, this guy is still new. Tinder guy is still new. I think you guys, it sounds like you have connected and you have a future, but you're still getting to know him and it's your brain and it's your body and you need to do what you need to do.
Yeah.
We have a debate here.
So I should be patient.
Wait, did he tell you about the micro penis before or was it a surprise?
Oh, yeah. Good point, Rochelle.
What did you say?
We have a debate between the three of us. Can you hear us?
Uh-huh.
We have this ongoing debate that a guy, if he has a uniquely sized dick, should be upfront, or shouldn't he be upfront about?
I say should. What did he do?
Did you find out? Was it a reveal or was he like, hey?
It was was a reveal, but he wasn't putting so much pressure on having sex. He wanted to cuddle more. He wanted to like go slow. So I kind of had.
So he didn't acknowledge it, right?
that he wasn't comfortable. No, not at first. No.
I mean, that's an interesting point. I think the more
But you could tell that he was.
it's not really a debate because I don't know. All right, well, Jenny, we're gonna wrap this up and have some final thoughts when you get off the phone because your reception isn't great. But thank you for calling in. This is a great story, and it really is probably something people relate to.
Yes, thank you for sharing.
Awesome. Thanks for your help, guys. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Jenny. Listen, if you're, I guess I'm assuming if you're a type of guy that you've been with enough of women that you eventually get a reaction, whether it's like a really big dick or, but I'm talking, it's got to be extreme, right? Because otherwise, there's no point. Like,
Yeah, don't say, oh, sorry, I got a really big dick. And you're like,
you're like, yeah, I mean, like it's kind of like it's ample, but like I don't.
No, but if you're like, hey, I just want you to know, like, I usually like touch a rib when I'm in there.
Oh,
it's
no.
Huge. You'd be like, okay, let's.
I used to
monitor.
have roommates that
gonna
could
hurt.
only have sex in the shower because he was too big and she
Sure.
was too small.
Wait, what did the shower do to help?
I don't know.
Shower is not a good lubrication.
No, that is a terrible lubrication. Where is he? Have him on the show. Have him
But I
call
do
in.
think, specifically for the micro penis situation,
Micro penis is special.
I think if you're a guy, it would probably make sense.
Yes.
Here's like, and I'm just thinking out loud here, but here I would think here's like an exercise on how to kind of, there's probably a lot of assumptions again with a micro penis, like insecurities and obviously, you're not happy about it. So instead of pretending it doesn't exist, own it,
Yeah.
acknowledge it,
Yes.
be upfront about it.
Yes.
They're gonna find out anyways, right? You're gonna take your pants off and be like, "Ugh." And you don't want to have this awkward. So like, talk about it.
Yeah.
100%, because I think that the more that you're open about it, you accept it about yourself, it'll help you to get better at all of the other things. Because look at the real women are so adaptable, and there's so much you can do with a woman's body to please her that I just feel like it won't be a big deal if you bring it up. And I'm using this from personal experience because the micro penis incident that I went through was tough because
You're talking about it like it was a war.
It was just like a whole thing because he didn't even admit it, and then I was like, oh man, it was just so teeny tiny. But he also didn't admit it, didn't know how to do anything else, and I was just like, oh man, like I wanted to talk to him about it because I was like, how are you moving through the world like this? I don't know.
What is your name?
My name is Rachel.
Hi, Rachel. This is Nick,
hi, nice to meet
Shug,
you guys.
and Rochelle.
Hello.
Hola.
Hi.
How can we help you, Rachel?
So I'm 20. I'm a college student, and before this, I had never like kissed anyone. I'd never dated anyone. Like literally nothing. And so I met this guy on Tinder from school, and we went on a few lunch dates. And we ended up interning in like around the same area. So we went on a date last Saturday and we kissed for the first time. And that was his first time too. So,
Wait, you guys popped each other kiss cherries together?
yeah,
That's so
Great.
cute. That's so exciting.
I feel like that's special. How often does that really
That
happen?
could not have been good. That could not have been a good
Yeah, was
kiss.
it good?
How was the
How was
kiss?
it?
oh my God, it was like so awkward at first, but we got a lot better.
That's great.
Yeah.
Totally fine. All right. And now?
Yeah. And so like it's been moving really fast. I mean, last Saturday we kissed. On Monday, like
Now
I
you're
went
doing
over
anal.
again.
You shush.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I went
go.
over again and I I gave him a blowjob.
Yeah. Woo. So you went from kiss to blowjob?
That's the natural progression.
How did this happen?
That is actually the natural
I actually,
progression.
I am
think
curious
those are
what
stages.
I am curious. Like, did he ask or did you offer?
No, I wanted to.
No, I assume that, but
Yeah,
I'm just
she
saying.
did.
No. I did it like on my own free will. You didn't ask.
Okay, I'm just like curious if he's like, hey, like, are you into? I don't know.
My first blowjob was terrible. Oh God.
All right. Okay. So now we're sucking dick. All right. So
And then I went on Wednesday and he told me, like, we were cuddling and he told me he loves me.
Oh,
Yay!
I bet he did.
Oh, this is very
This is great.
exciting.
What a
no,
great
it
story.
gets bad.
Uh-oh.
Wait for it.
Hold on. Oh no, producer, no spoilers. Go
No, this
on,
is-
go on.
This is good.
Rachel, go on.
Like, I'm fine with the way that the relation is progressing physically because I'm setting the pace there. But I'm like kind of worried about how fast it's moving, like in the other aspects. Like he keeps on asking like if we're dating, and I keep on saying like, I don't know.
He's in love.
And your
And
question is what?
My question is like, how should I proceed? Like, I don't know if I should, like, I'm not opposed to dating him in the future, but I feel like, I don't think he's trying to put pressure on me, but I feel pressured to like agree to a relationship so quickly.
Well, that's very honest of you. I mean, this is a really unique situation. Well, not that unique. I guess it's maybe in a way sometimes common. I think the stereotypes is the young women feel like they want the relationship and the men just want to get off. I think this is really, I guess, unique and cool that we have a young woman's, being sex positive
Exactly.
and getting out there and kind of getting experience, but doesn't need to feel the burden of being in a relationship. And it's fine either way. And I also think it's great that this young man is getting blowjobs and being like, I love you, Listen, I think it just comes down to communication and just trying to be as mature as possible in a situation you guys don't have a lot of experience. He likes you.
Yeah.
And not like all jokes aside, it's probably not just because you gave him a blowjob, but there's something about people's firsts, right? And experiencing firsts and is a way people connect. And so it's probably elevated because of the physical relationship you guys have. And he's feeling this and he's never done this before. And it's special and certainly to him. And so, he definitely likes you. I think to do this, you just have to be upfront and it might hurt his feelings. My guess is his reaction is going to be, at first, he's going to get defensive. Well, what do you mean? Hopefully this will be a good sign for you to see how he handles this, right? Because if he handles it in a way where he's just like, if he gets defensive and maybe even names calls, or maybe let's say, and I'm not saying he's going to do this, but like he could get defensive and almost be shaming. Like, well, what do you mean you did this to me? And you don't like, what, you just want to fuck around and blah, blah, blah. That would be a good sign for you to say that maybe he definitely shouldn't explore a relationship with this guy. However, if he's just like, you know what? I get it. And if he handles very mature and he doesn't get defensive, might be a good guy you want to explore with because, that would show a lot of maturity for someone. It's tough. Like, I think just try to be upfront, try to be direct. He's gonna get defensive. He likes you too. So there's feelings involved, but the only thing you can do is to say, I want to slow down. I think you're going to have to also slow down the physical relationship as well. It's only fair to him to not confuse him because he's also equating a physical relationship with an emotional relationship. Mm-hmm. And that's fine too, because some people want those to be mutually exclusive. Some people don't, right? And right now he says he does. So I think you need to slow down that aspect physically and get on the same page. And if you just want to have a fuck buddy, that's fine too, that he might not be your guy.
Yeah, I think it's so important in those situations when somebody is like, look, I'm in love with you, I want to do this relationship, that you don't too heavily continue the physical of it all with over-explaining too. And I think that a good kind of tool in your toolbox or whatever is to really like over-explain how you're feeling. Like just really get into it about needing to take it slow, that this isn't quite what you want. You really want to get to know each other so much better. It sounds like you've only been on so many dates and your knowledge of the connection between the physical things that are happening and the kind of influx of feelings that naturally come with that and your reservation about those things, I assume he's a smart guy and hopefully that can penetrate his brain.
And again, I think it's just unique because of the stereotype we often face. Guys who say things they don't mean to get laid kind of thing. Mm-hmm. That's how we get guys who get the names of players and fuckboys because the stereotype is the girls like, I like you and I want to be with you. What do you want out of this? And they're like, oh, I like you too. And all they just want to get laid.
Right.
So again, in fairness, you need to again be upfront. And if you don't want that, don't pretend you like him.
Or else she'll be a fuck boy.
Oh, you'll be a fuck
girl.
boy. Yeah. No, but seriously, like, but also don't feel guilt to like him too. Like, don't feel guilt to have sex with someone you don't want to do. Don't feel guilt to be in a relationship with someone that you're not ready to be in a relationship with.
And don't feel guilt to be wanting to go down on someone and to be the aggressor in the situation.
No, I think that's
and
great.
to not catch feelings. Like what's happening is one of you is catching feelings. It's the guy. And you're like, hey, I'm having a good time, but
you need to be upfront the same way a lot of young women out there want guys to be upfront with their feelings. I always say that when guys are being accused of being fuckboys and players, women just want the guys to be honest, right? Guys will make excuses about why they didn't tell them or why they're not. And I think most women just want to know. They want the option to say, well, then I don't want to have sex with you. Or, you know what? Thanks for letting me know. We can still have sex.
Yes.
Because they don't want to feel used. Because women, like most men don't say things like, well, I got used. She used me for sex. You know, most guys aren't saying she used me for a blowjob. You know, because that's the kind of the double standard of like kind of just our culture. But he's going to feel used if you continue to pretend to like him more than you do just to get laid. He'll never say it, but society, women will say, so you just got to be upfront. And it's this unique relationship because this is not the stereotype, but you still need to be honest about your feelings. And you may find, because again, he's young and it's his first time, he may be trying to do and say the right things. You may be totally honest with him and he's like, wait, we can just hook up and not and take it slow, but we can still have sex. Great. But you definitely just need to be as honest and upfront as possible. And don't make excuses like, well, I don't want to hurt his feelings. And I didn't, don't sugarcoat it. Be kind, but be direct. And see how he handles it. Because if he does get defensive and mean, then that's not okay either, But the moment you start lying about your feelings is the moment then it becomes on you and you get yourself and you're in trouble and then you're doing the wrong thing. And
if he wants to walk away, believe you me, there's lots more people who would like to go with this arrangement.
Well,
this slow paced thing.
I don't get the impression that you're worried about you won't find someone else.
No, of course not.
No, I mean, I just think that the way we're approaching it is different. I think it's like unique since we're both in college and this is our first relationship. I think he's like approaching it like the first relationship. Like I ask you out and then we're boyfriend and girlfriend and then I kiss you and then this and this. But I'm sort of just like, okay, like let's explore other things and then maybe we can see like what we want to label it.
Totally. Again, maybe you do or not, but he is young and most of his thought process and how he's going about this part of his life is probably coming from how he was raised or what he thinks he should do or shouldn't be doing. So again, the only way to get on the same page is to talk about it and be upfront. And a lot of people, even, you're young, but even people as they get older still don't openly communicate about maybe that juxtaposition between the physical relationship they want and the emotional relationship they want. And you should just do that. And you seem reluctant, but like I promise you won't regret it. You may not get the outcome you want, but you will feel better about being on the same page.
Right.
I promise.
Okay.
All right.
I'm seeing him tonight, so.
Oh, good. Let us know how it goes. Let us know how it goes.
Again, you're
not saying anything wrong.
All you're saying is, I like you. I love our physical relationship, but I'm not ready to dive in emotionally, and I need you to know that. And I want to respect your feelings too.
Oh, beautiful.
Right.
Yeah, really great. You're going to be great. You're not saying anything wrong. Don't worry about it. Just be honest. More power to you.
You're doing great. This is awesome. All right. Take care.
You guys.
All right. Bye-bye.
Hello, beautiful. Oh, well, I'm glad that we get to see your face at least. Welcome.
Hi, Lynn. How are you?
Good, thank you.
How can we help?
Well, I had emailed in because I had some questions for you concerning your essential oils, I guess, or the diffusers that you're selling. So what I'm trying to find out is I have never been a person who has had to deal with, thankfully, I have not dealt with anxiety or depression in the past. However, with my situation recently, I have been dealing with a lot of anxiety to the point that at times it hits me. At times I feel like there's a weight on my chest to the point that it is a very unbearable pain that I'm not sure how to deal with at this point in time.
Is there something specifically that's causing this? I mean, again, usually the fact that you haven't dealt with this, I mean, I think there's the difference between someone who constantly experiences anxiety and then a situation that's making you anxious.
Yes, so absolutely. I am 38 years old. I've been single for about 12 years. I am a single mom. I have 2 children.
Okay.
And due to my my upbringing and just kind of the way that I wanted to raise my children, I made a conscious decision to not date openly with my kids, simply because I wanted to make sure that if I was going to bring a man into their life, this was going to be forever. So that situation presented itself in November with a person that I have been friends with I've known him for over 10 years, and we have been very close friends, never brought him around my children. And November of last year, we started seeing each other. And I introduced him to my children. We went through the whole thing of dealing with teenagers who were not too happy about me dating. And they definitely came around, and he found a way into their heart. And 4 weeks ago, we were on a family vacation with my entire family, which was 24 people, because I come from a very large family like you do, Nick. And all of my siblings and my parents and their spouses. And so we were on vacation. And one day we were at Disney, and the next day he was not with me. So he passed away while we were on vacation.
Oh, dear.
I'm sorry.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that's a big one, you sweet thing. That's tough. I'm so sorry to hear that. We're so sorry. And so this has caused, I can imagine, some great anxiety in you and some real shifts in how you're perceiving the world, I would imagine.
How long ago did this happen?
4 weeks.
4 weeks.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, I mean, listen, this is a very difficult and challenging. I wasn't expecting it to go this direction, but like, it's in a sense that there's a lot of things we can try to say to make you feel better. Unfortunately, this is like a tough situation. I mean, with calls like this, I think we're all in agreement that I don't know if you've ever gotten therapy or you've ever talked to a professional about something like this, but this is a traumatic experience in your life. And you need to allow yourself to grieve, and you might need to be able to talk with a professional to help you through this, especially with the fact that you are talking about, for the first time in your life, you're dealing with things like anxiety and depression. And it makes a lot of sense why you might be, because it's such a tragic thing in your life. Right or wrong, you chose to wait and be patient with dating and really emphasize this. And it's where other people don't, who are single parents, and that's okay too, right? I know single parents who, they date a guy for 3 or 4 weeks, and it's like, hey, do you want to meet my kids? That's fine too. There's a balance, right? And you kind of went to the other extreme, and that's fine too. The only problem with sometimes going it that way is you put an emphasis on it working out, and if it doesn't, and with kids not being, they're your kids were so used to you not dating or not even knowing about it that they're probably resistant to it. So minus the fact that he passed away, I think in the future, I hope this doesn't discourage you to go out and date again once you are ready, and give it some time, certainly, and talk to a professional. But I would think maybe in the future, just, your kids I think it's okay that your kids know that you want to find love and be happy and have a partner. And I think it's okay for your kids to understand, especially if they're teenagers now. They're not 4 or 5 or 6 years old. They should want that, and they should know that you want that too. And I think you need to let them know that you want that. And I think that's I think that's okay for you to say. So that way, if they meet someone and it just, let's say, getting past that part where you meet someone and it doesn't work out, like he doesn't pass away, like maybe you just don't get along 6 months into it, you shouldn't have to worry about like, oh, my kid's met another guy. This is such a unique and extreme situation of unfortunate circumstances where he passed away. Most of the time you're going to date and we're just going to break up. So I just don't want your kids to I don't want you to feel like you have to get this right and you have to make sure it's the perfect person before you introduce them to the next person. In the short term, I think the best thing you can do is just talk to a professional and just get it out there and continue to talk to people. I appreciate you calling and sharing your story, and hopefully this helps just talk about it. And I think, celebrating it and celebrating him and really let yourself grieve, I think is, again, I'm not a professional therapist. So again, get their advice, but that would, in my experience and from what I've learned, I think it's okay to do that and just don't force it.
And I would love to add one thing too. I think you got into a habit early on of, protecting your kids from feelings that might come up by being attached to somebody new. And I would really encourage you in this time to recognize that your family is grieving and the kids did get to know him and they lost him as well. So I think that, creating a new habit and using this as a way to, really bond you with your kids and have that open dialogue about how they're feeling about this too, and let them know how their mom is feeling and let them comfort you and love you, and you guys come together and love on this. You don't have to protect, your kids from how you're feeling if you're dating somebody new, if you're finding something else, if you're grieving, if you're sad. This can be something that, as a gift from your ex, not even your ex, from your love, I'll call him, from your love as a gift to you to use this grief as a way to continue to keep you and your kids really close. And I think keeping that openness is a beautiful thing.
I just think it's really important for you, minus the grieving process, is for you to, assuming you want to still someday, again, you're probably not thinking about it right now. I just think it's important for you to not feel any regret about dating. And certainly I think it's important for you to still let your kids know that someday you want to still find love in your life and that you deserve it. And I think it's important that they want that for you too. And they may want that, but you need to state that, because I do, like I said, the not doing it at all and removing yourself from it and being so on one end of the spectrum, they got so used to you not dating. And then you bring some guy in, it's like, wait, what is going on here? And then they kind of, I don't think there should be a period where your kids have to accept you dating, as long as he treats you with respect and you're happy, that should be their only requirement. Right. But I think it's on you to let them know.
Yeah. And I think this situation has really, multiple things, but it has allowed my daughter and I to become a lot closer because she saw how happy he made me.
Exactly.
And it gave her the opportunity to see that, that people are deserving of love.
100%.
And the way that he loved me was beyond anything I had ever experienced before. And so she got to see that. And now with his passing, she's been my support. And she's been with me every time I wake up in the middle of the night crying. And
yeah, I mean, and I'm sorry again that you're sad, but I think that is, to Shook's, a beautiful thing. And I don't want you to feel discouraged or afraid to move on when you're ready.
Right.
I want you to still want to date and meet someone. I'm just afraid that you would have so much emphasis and you were so scared to do this, and then this tragic thing happened. I don't want to have you shut you down from getting out there and finding love once you are ready to move on. And certainly that's going to take some time, and don't feel the need to rush it. And I would encourage you to talk to people and talk to professional to get through those moments of anxiety and depression, which are obviously are common and happen in times like these. But don't give up faith of finding love, and put it out there that you own it and you deserve it. And it sounds like your kids are wanting to see that. And I think I'm glad to hear that they saw that and they continue to want that for you. And I think, that's a good thing. So
I agree.
All right.
Aw, well, we're
Thank you
sending you
very
so
much.
much love.
Well, thank you so much. All the best. We're so sorry for your loss. And that's really, it is unfortunate. But again, to Shug's point, he gave you a gift and gave you and your daughters a gift. And I think it sounds like you're, once you get over it, you know that you deserve it. And I feel like maybe for a while you just weren't open to meeting someone out of protecting your kids. And that's great that you were trying to protect them, but you don't need to do that.
I appreciate your time. And if you would recommend something from your line, what would you recommend?
Oh, well, as far as my essential oils, a release helps me calm down and sleep and good for anxiety. But as great as essential oils are, and they do help me calm down, it's not necessarily going to help you get over the death of a loved one. So I just want to make sure I don't want to oversell something I do believe in. But it does help me calm and relax. But definitely talk to people and get it out there and grieve and go through those stages as well. But
To wrap it up with you guys, I do want to let you know I've been involved in going to a grief share program.
Excellent.
I have been
Yeah, that's great.
With my pastor and with a bereavement type grief counselor as well. So I am going that route to do this in the most healthy way that I can.
Keep doing that for sure. Stick with that. Do it past the point. Like just focus on you and what you need, and you're going to be fine.
Thank you so much for your time, guys.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
Well, that was fun. What a great episode.
Yeah.
As always, if you guys like us, rate us 5 stars on iTunes, share with your friends, put us in your Instagram stories, tag Viall Files. Again, Natural Habits Bundle, 40% off. Use code Viall, NHOils.com. Have a great week, everybody.
Goodbye, everyone.